Hello. Oh, just adjusting the light to look slightly less creepy. Hello. Good evening. Happy Thursday. Yes, Thursday. Oh, very much didn't have a clue what day it was for a second then. I hope you're all well. Lots of nice good news and hellos. You have no, I've just been sat here for a couple of minutes, got up to my office a bit earlier, and just been looking at you guys all chatting with each other. And I don't want to be too soppy, but you have no idea how lovely it is. Like, I've had such a difficult day today. I feel really flat and just feeling really insecure about everything and like career stuff. And I've got quite a big decision to make that's been making me feel just really grim. And then when you feel a bit like, what am I doing? And am I wasting my time? And then watching you guys all be really friendly with each other and like sending each other things. I don't know. I feel really warmed by that. So thank you very much. That's made my day. I'm really excited about your house, Lisa. That's very exciting. And thank you to those of you that sent some just incredibly generous coffee donations this week. You blew me away. Thank you so much. I don't know if you want me to name names. I won't, because I'd be like squirming if it was me. But you're amazing. Catherine wants to know about the game. Yeah, it's a game me and Tom have been working on for a while where you have to try and become a stand-up comedian. So we kind of, Tom and I are real gamers. We love games, and the more complicated, the better. So we've been trying to develop this board game that's sort of like complicated enough that gamers would play it, but normal enough that the average person could pick it up relatively quickly, not too crazy. So we've been working on this game where you start as an open mic comedian, and then there's a map of the UK with comedy clubs on it, and then you have to sort of go around the UK playing the clubs with different jokes that you collect along the way, and then you earn a bit of money, and you have to earn reputation, and then hopefully you win the game. So we've been trying to work on that, which is quite exciting. So we're just at the stage now where the game sort of exists, but I don't know if any of the maths works. It's all that sort of stuff where we're like, are we going to be able to, how is the numbers going to work? Like, if you get this many points for that, is that too easy or is that impossibly difficult? So we're printing off versions of all the cards and stuff with little gaps where the numbers go, so we can write them on a pencil and go, right, well, that was too easy and that was too hard, and sort of like trying to write a rule book as well, and then sending it out to various friends of ours that play games. And saying to them, like, if you read this, would you be able to play it from this? Because we don't want to explain it to loads of people and then not have it work. Well, we have to write our own jokes for it. Well, what we're hoping to do is have the jokes donated by comedians. So the hope is that comedians would want to be sort of immortalized, like donate a joke to the game and then your joke is immortalized in the game. So that's fun. Is there bonus points for doing clubs for the right comedy? What does that mean? Like right-wing comedy? There's no right-wing comedians. The BBC filters them all out. All that bullshit, isn't there? What is there bonus points for doing clubs for the right comedy? Jeff, you gotta explain this to me more. I hope Custard Comedy is featured. I'll talk to Rob. Custard Comedy, by the way, for those that don't know, how could you not know, is the wonderful comedy clubs in the Cambridgeshire area. One of my favourite in the whole world. Oh, Bernard Manning type in the wrong venue. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yes, I suppose, yes, you can actually, in a way. I feel really cagey about it. I don't want to give way too much the idea in case somebody watches the video and nabs it, we are trying to develop it so that it sort of fits along thematic lines on my experience of being a stand-up comedian. So the idea is that, like if you're a one-liner comedian, your jokes will work best with certain other one-liners. And if you've got like dirty jokes, you can't have too many dirty jokes in one set, or it gets a bit like, I'm bored. That kind of thing. John, you haven't missed a rant. I haven't really ranted. I've been a bit misty. I'm a bit flat and sad today, so I've been a bit misty. And now I'm telling you everyone about my game that I've been developing. Mackie's going through a real barking phase at the moment, which is really fun. Just for about 2 hours a day, she just barks at everything. Art World, I think we will put it on Kickstarter when we just need to get it to a point where we're really sure that the game plays well. And then, yeah, I think we will put it on Kickstarter. Quite excited, really. That would be quite fun if I'd written a book and made a board game. That's a successful, that's enough, isn't it? And I'm nice. I feel so insecure. What am I doing? Just looking at my laps. Am I an okay person? I'm fine. I don't know. Just one of those days. You know, those days where you just everything like some days I see other people's success and I'm like, well done. And sometimes I see other people's success as a fucking personal attack, and it's such a poisonous way to live. It's not good for the brain. But look, I've washed my hair, isn't it silky smooth? I'm going to the allotment tomorrow. That'll fix everything. I'm going to the bloody allotment. Catherine, I'm so glad I'm not the only one, because I feel like I'm digging for compliments and I'm not, just trying to be honest about it. I was just looking at it like it's so stupid. All it was is I saw somebody had got on a TV show that I cannot get on for love nor money. And then I had to sit down with myself and say, like, Laura, you've published a fucking book this year. Which would you rather have had, to be on that one show or have published a book? You can't have it all. Fucking grow up and stop clinging to the things you didn't get, and be pleased and proud of yourself for the things that you have got, you stupid bint. So there you go, John. You've had a rant now. You've had a bloody rant. So I'm really glad that this was today. It was nice. I got 4,000 words of pivot written yesterday. So these Wednesdays off are good for getting me to finally write the new novel. But I did miss this. Jenny's I'm a trained actress and everyone has more than work than me. It's just the worst, isn't it? It's the worst industry for friggin' making you feel like you're a piece of poo. Not that I want to go back to SEO. I live without that. Anyway, so thank you. That's basically where that rant was going. Hello, everyone. I'm really glad that we're doing this. It's delightful. Chapter 5. So you voted on what the flyer was. It was a play, a book group, sea swimming, night classes, or a bring and buy sale. And I really thought it was going to go a different way. I really thought we were going to have a play, and then right at the end there were a flurry of votes for something else. So we'll kick off with chapter 5, shall we? And see what our heroine is up to. It felt weird to be on campus after 7 p.m. Kate wasn't the sort of person to work late. She knew a lot of the professors who lived for their job, but she wasn't that kind of girl. She got in when her contract stated she had to, or at least within 30 minutes of that point, and then left the second she was allowed, or earlier if something came up that she thought she could get away with. The grassy stretches that were usually filled with students strolling, talking and picnicking were empty and already collecting moisture from the evening air. The buildings stood like temples, and Kate felt her usual twinge of inadequacy at what lay inside them and how much she had missed out by not finishing up her own education. "Spooky, isn't it?" said Polly, making Kate jump as her words broke into Kate's musings. "Yeah, it is a little." Kate smiled, glad her sister was with her. "Which building is it?" "Roger's building, this one up here on the left," Kate said, indicating with the new notepad she had bought. The automatic doors swished open and the two women stepped into the bright lighting of the foyer, looking about for numbers on the doors. "This way," Kate said, leading Polly to the left. She felt a curious surge of sibling pride and rivalry in knowing the campus better than Polly. I mean, of course she did. She worked here. But it was Mum and Dad's campus, and it was knowledge, and for once Kate had to lead the way. Studying the door numbers to make sure she found the right door was squashing her nerves down too. Her fingers were clammy and sweaty against the notepad she had bought and the new pen clutched against it. They found the right door, propped open with a fire extinguisher, and in they went. Inside was a circle of chairs with 6 people of various ages all sitting smiling at the newcomers. "Hi," Polly said assertively. "I'm Polly, and this is my sister Kate." Kate flinched. Now she was Polly's sister instead of just Kate. But it was better than having tried to do this alone, she decided. She knew deep down, oh, Sarah, I've just seen your comment. Love it. You're going to like the next paragraph. She knew deep down she would still be on the sofa at home if she hadn't shown the flyer to Polly and suggested they join the book club together. Polly had leapt at the idea. Kate, yes! Oh, I've been dying to see you go out and do something, and this will be so good. I've always wanted to be in a book club. Ryan was left at home with the kids, and the two of them made their way up to campus. Of course, Kate had made a shopping list of things she definitely needed if she was going to be in a book club. First stop was paper chase, for a pretty notebook that she could write down clever thoughts in. Then there'd been a 3 for 2 sale in there, so she'd bought a lovely smooth writing pen to write down her clever thoughts with. Then her eye had been caught by some pretty little tab stickers, which she thought would be useful for marking places in the book that were important to discuss. It had been really hard to choose which stickers she wanted. The little monkeys with bananas, which were fun, or the more simple, probably more grown-up and book clubbish ones, with glitter on them. She decided she'd get both. Oh, I've lost my place. I was acting away. So I was acting. Yeah, Lee, going out shopping. Oh, I'd love to be in a paper chase. I was picturing the paper chase in Brighton as I was writing this, thinking, oh, I'd like to wander around there. What? Oh, yeah, I used to love a W.H. Smith in September. I still get the urge for it. Glitter is grown up, John. Shut up. Anyway, where were we? I was flailing my arm, so I must have been saying both. She'd just get both. She'd decided to get both and decide which to use once she'd felt the vibe of the book club and whether these people were all wacky weirdos or stimulated intellectuals. Of course, choosing 2 packets of stickers meant that she was now into a second batch of 3 for 2. So she chose a pen in a different colour to indicate maybe a negative thought about the book, while the other one could be more positive. My comments and another notebook that already came full of bullet points. That way, she could record all the many hundreds of books. Now I can't read because I'm just laughing. A stimulated weirdo, are you, Dirkus? What? Oh, well, LF isn't in this book. You can't be. For those of you that weren't here for the last book, LF was a character that Dirkus fell very much in love with, and I had to kill her to break the affair. Lee's banned for 3 for 2 for life. Oh, Waterstones, yeah. Oh, mate, I feel you completely. Anyway, I'm too distracted today. And another notebook that already came full of bullet points. That way, she could record all the many hundreds of books she would read through the book club. Being in a book club was turning out expensive, and she hadn't even bought the first book they'd be reading yet, but it was okay because she had a paper chase card, so the points she was earning probably cancelled out what she was spending anyway by the time she redeemed them against Christmas presents in December. Oh, we need an accent. Right, we're introducing some characters now. We need an accent. Let's go, stimulated weirdos. What accent do you want for this character? Mexican, Germans come in, Swedish. I just would love there's 3 Frenches in a row. We're going French. I'd love a book that doesn't contain Swedish. Let's do French as it's come up. We're going to meet more than one character in this one, so don't worry. Come on in and sit down, smiled a woman, sitting at what might be considered the head of the circle. Kate wasn't sure why she thought this. It was a circle, after all. But something about the way she was sitting made Kate think she was probably in charge. Polly and Kate smiled and sat down in 2 vacant seats. We were just about to start. Thank you so much for coming. We're just finishing up on a book today, so you can listen while we discuss that one, and then we will be choosing a new book at the end of the session. Lovely, said Polly, arranging her ankles neatly over each other. What book have you been reading? The Picture of Dorian Gray. Have you read it? Sasha asked. That should say Polly, not Sasha. Oops. Don't read it on the blog until I edit it. Yes, said Polly, adding an of course that Kate didn't think was completely necessary. And you, Kate, have you read it? Sasha asked, smiling sweetly. No, said Kate, and then immediately wondered why, because she had read it. She opened her mouth to correct the lie and then closed it again, realizing that if they thought she hadn't read it, she wouldn't have to answer questions about it. She would answer questions next time. Yes, you have, squawked Polly, looking sharply at Kate. You read it at school. Kate floundered, looking round the group in embarrassment. Oh, well, yeah, I read it at school, Kate admitted, stuttering a bit as she tried to swallow her mortification. I didn't think that really counted, though, does it? Things you read at school? She'd actually read it since then as well because she'd liked it so much, but there was no need to admit that here to these strangers. One of the men sitting over the other side of the circle smiled reassuringly at her. Okay, we need a reassuring old man accent. What are we getting? I think we've lost Graham somewhere along the way, haven't we? You might be watching on catch up now. We've done Wigan. We need reassuring. We've got Yorkshire, Canadian. Yorkshire's come in again. Should we go Yorkshire? We've got a third and a fourth Yorkshire. Right. All right. Yorkshire. Is that Lancashire? Right. No, that's Somerset. That's none of them. Yorkshire. That's what you're getting. You're getting like that, and that's what he's being. Right. One of the men. Oh, Jenny, you're the actress, babe. I don't know what I'm doing. This is why I took my spotlight thing down. Oh, actually, did I? Am I still paying? Shut up, Laura. Just read the story. One of the men sitting over the other side of the circle smiled reassuringly at her. Absolutely not. For some of us, school was too long ago. We can't count anything I read at school unless you can read hieroglyphics. Kate laughed and thanked him with her eyes, hoping he understood. He winked back, and she felt like he did. Oh, and another accent. Bloody hell. We're covered in accents today. So many new characters. You should have gone for the play. There was only one person in that. Geordie. All right, done. Sold. That woman there is going to be Geordie. All right, pet. Oh, no. Going from Geordie back to me Welsh is going to be hard. Right. Right, absolutely not. For some of us, school was too long ago. We can't count anything I read at school unless you can read hieroglyphics. Kate laughed and thanked him with her eyes, hoping he understood. He winked back, and she felt like he did. I can read hieroglyphics, actually, said the woman sitting next to Polly, and every head in the circle turned to look at her. She had a prim little face and perfect lipstick. So can I, Polly said, looking at the woman with raised eyebrows. I'm a curator at the museum, the woman said, giving Polly a slight patronising smile that Kate wasn't sure Polly would enjoy. I'm a professor of ancient history, Polly said, returning the smile. The friction between them was already palpable. Isn't that lovely? I'm sure you two will have plenty to talk about then, said Sasha warmly. Kate was really warming to her. She was absolutely sure that the second she and Polly got in the car, there would be a small tirade from Polly about how much she hated this woman. But Kate was already mentally thinking of this woman as Polly too. Polly too pulled her copy of Dorian Gray out of her bag, and the others followed suit. Kate twiddled her positive notes pen. So, for Polly, Kate, and Maggie's benefit, Kate looked across at the other woman in the circle who didn't have a copy of Dorian Gray. We meet every fortnight, and we usually try to be about halfway through the book for one session to discuss it before we finished. Then we meet again at the end to see how our reflections have changed. Now we have the full picture. Today, we're finishing up with Dorian Gray. So let me start with a question, and we'll see where we go from here. Last year, we read Jekyll and Hyde, and in both these books, there was the idea that you could separate your negative behavior from yourself in some way. Why do you think both authors chose to have this action fail to make the protagonist happy? Polly's hand shot into the air, and Kate groaned inwardly. She shrank down into her chair and let the conversation wash over her, silently disagreeing with a lot of what Polly and Polly too were saying, even though they were managing to disagree with each other completely and yet still totally miss the point of the book. By 40 minutes in, Kate was dying for a cigarette and wondering how much longer they could discuss a book that only took about an hour total to read. The thing is, no, wait a minute, Geordie. All right. The thing is, so, I don't know how to say it. Every now and again, I just come up across a sentence I don't know how to say. But I've got to get me Geordie. The thing is, I don't know how to do that line. Never mind. Okay, shut up, please. Jenny's going to type it in perfect acting, and then that's the done bit. Good. That's the done. Pet. The thing is, pet. Yeah, good idea, Jeff. We're just going to add pets to everything. The thing is, pet, said Polly too, introducing yet another thing to the long list of wildly inaccurate things she had already made the book about. Actually, what's at the core of the book is criticism of, oh no, it's gone completely, hasn't it? I'm going to have to go back up into my high-pitched range. It's the only way I can do it. Actually, what's at the core of the book is criticism of how dependent. No, what's happening? It's falling apart. Somebody complimented the accents and now they've all fallen out of my asshole. Actually, what's at the core of the book is criticism of how dependent humans are on machinery. That's fine. That's all you're getting, because I can't keep doing the same sentence over and over again. Oh dear. Yeah, I think it was dwindling on Indian there for a bit, wasn't it? There was a silence in the circle, which Polly too took to be absolute astonishment. Carry on, you're not supposed to tell me that you're just laughing at me. It's a with me situation. But yes, oh, it's ludicrous, isn't it? Oh, for fuck's sake, Laura. There was a silence in the circle, which Polly too took to be absolute astonishment at how insightful she had been. But everyone else knew was just a beat where they tried to count how many ways that statement was baffling. That seems like a good place to wrap up, said Sasha brightly. So, the 5 of us who were here last time, what books are we suggesting to read next? I'll start. I would like to put forward David Copperfield, because I've never read any Dickens. Joe? The younger of the two men wriggled forward in his chair a little bit. Right, we need an accent for Joe. Joe is the next character to come onto the accent chopping, but Russian, done, sold to the... Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in. I'm going to use the ones you're suggesting here. We've got Australian from Lisa and Essex from Lee. Right, there we go. I've filled in the last of the characters. There's lots of shout for Canadian, isn't there? There'll be another character tomorrow that I promise to make Canadian. What's Canadian, Jesus? It's the very first book. So this is actually the 4th book we've done online, isn't it? Because we've done 2 audience adventures and we've done a book that I wrote before years ago. So if you watch, what was that one called? As We Know It. If you watch the As We Know It playlist, that was the first book. Oh God, it feels like years ago now, doesn't it? I think it was 2003 we did that one. Right, so where were we? Right, so because I've never read Dickens, Joe, the younger of the two men, wriggled forward in his chair a little bit. Now Joe is from Russia. My suggestion is Interview with the Vampire. Yeah. He looked back down at his feet, shy because his voice was mad. Seems like an appropriate accent for someone suggesting Interview with the Vampire. Thanks, Joe. Liesel, said Sasha. Liesel. Liesel is confusingly Australian. All right. I've never read Pride and Prejudice, actually. I know it's a classic, but I've just never got round to it. So that one. Every word out of Liesel's mouth came with a little giggle, which the narrator couldn't do because she was busy trying to be Australian. Pride and Prejudice. Okay, said Sasha, making a note. Have you guessed what your vote is? Yeah, by the way. Frank. Okay, Frank, we already decided was Yorkshire, Lancashire, generic North. Okay. Or that new one from what's his name from Pointless, the Murder Club, Frank said, waving a hand at the words he couldn't remember. The Thursday Murder Club? Asked Sasha. That one, yep. Okay, a modern novel, fun. And Clara? So Polly 2 was called Clara. Kate decided she preferred Polly 2. And she's Geordie, isn't she? Well, really, I think we should be stretching ourselves. So I did want to suggest... Sasha held up a hand to interrupt. Sorry, Clara. I just wanted to reiterate, let's try not to suggest things that have already been suggested before and not been popular, just to keep things moving. It is Art World. It's very good, actually. I read that. Well, listened to it. It's really good. It's narrated by Leslie Manville, who I'm also really enjoying in Harlots at the moment. Anyway, back to the story. Polly too frowned and straightened her back. Fine, she said through tight lips. I'll read Dante's Inferno in my own time if I must. How would Gulliver's Travels suit? I'm going to have to chat to Lauren Patterson over the weekend. I might give her a ring to just double check this accent. How would Gulliver's Travels suit the group? Or maybe I could just start watching Geordie Shore again. Sasha nodded and marked that down on her pad too. Okay, she smiled at the group. Let's take a vote, shall we? So, you guys, we're getting so bloody meta in this bloody meta book club, aren't we? You get to decide what book the book club read. Ta-da! There you go. So you've got your 5 books there, as suggested. You've got David Copperfield, Interview with the Vampire, Pride and Prejudice, The Thursday Murder Club, or Gulliver's Travels. And you guys get to decide which book they're going to read. I love that you're suggesting Club Actually. That would, I mean, you guys have all already read it, obviously. So you know, and really, it can't be analysed. By the way, I'm doing a special thing that will be coming out in a couple of weeks. We're doing 12 days of Clopmas. So I'm writing 12 new Clop bits and doing videos for them to go out to try and spread the word about selling Clop Actually for Christmas. So yeah, look forward to that as well. So I will put the votes up. Well, was it Jenny who finally found the comments and voted? Well done. So if you're a bit confused about how the voting is happening or where, we don't vote in the live chat. The video goes live and sort of appears like a normal video after we finish doing that, and then just vote in the comments under there. It just means I can count them all up tomorrow. So I am in the book festival thing next week, Sarah. Yes. Wednesday night, I'm being interviewed by Emma Kennedy, and we'll be chatting Clop Actually and writing and all sorts of things. So it's Wednesday night. I think you can buy tickets online. I'll be tweeting it all over the place. Oh, Lady Frag, we all take notice of you. That's why we all hang out here. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. A thumbs up on the video is really lovely for me. It just means I get to go, yay, that's how many people are silently watching or watching noisily. I like you all. So please do that if you can. And then give it a, Ben, I don't know what's happening. You're having a problem with the typing, aren't you? So get voting. I'll pop the comments up and I will see you tomorrow night for a Friday night edition at 10 p.m. See you then. Have a lovely day. Bye.